Back. All right, so we can go ahead and sort of introduce ourselves and our characters, then we'll be able to start. I'm Michael Matthews. I am going to be running Spectaculars with members of the Gauntlet Hangout crew. As always, follow the Gauntlet inclusivity policy, which includes lines and veils that we have already discussed, and the X card, which can be used by doing an X in the window or typing into chat at any given moment. All right, if we want to go around, if you want to introduce yourself and your characters, and then we will be able to get it rolling.
Okay, I'm Marco, and I'm playing Pocket Bullets, the Vigilante. He has a signature weapon, which is a gun called Moonsight, the Ebon Carbine, and he also has super hyper agility. And gadget-based jetpack for flying. And on his on the template specific, I chose ingenuity, which means he solves problems by gadgets and I guess MacGyvering things on occasion. I could read. It says you come up with creative solutions, gadgets, and plans. I'm more than just my powers.
Okay. All right, Mike.
All right, I am playing the hero Halo Point. Birth name is Celeste Sonata, and she. Sorry, I just need to. Just opening up my own character sheet here. Where am I? There I am. Yes. My chosen powers are super toughness, energy strike, and power reservoir. And I envision that as being kind of like a force field that surrounds her and protects her, and she can channel into her unarmed strikes. And she has her weakness is she has to draw that power from a source from time to time. Her identity is a small business owner, a restaurant. We've decided a Filipino restaurant. Let's see what else. Her fighting style, enhanced strike. That basically means I don't have super strength, but when I hit something, I can channel my energy into increasing the power of that strike. I get around on a motorcycle, and my personality traits are confident and honest, as befitting a good aspiring small business owner.
Cool.
Or perhaps not. We'll see.
All right, and Richard?
I am playing Hector Cortez. The Abrazarse is his hero name. He is the Soldier of Fortune template. I don't know, hero card thingy. His target acquisition is clean up the streets. He targets the villains he thinks are the biggest threat. His vulnerability are his dependents, his niece, and his abuela. I haven't picked the resistance, but I'm imagining that his resistance for him means, I think, probably training, combat training. His powers, the 3 powers I chose for him, are fire manipulation, where he got his name, Abrazarse, which means to burn, martial arts expertise, and luck manipulation. He is the cook at this restaurant, and he's had to learn a lot of different new recipes from Celeste, most likely. His team role is artillery.
All right, and Asher?
All right. So my character is Dapper Lacquer. They are the speedster and have time-distorted senses for obstacle avoidance. So when they move, time seems to slow. So you can do the bullet time effects. Personality traits are supportive and impatient. I haven't chosen a vulnerability yet. I think I'll see that in play more. What develops. Resistance is shield, so I have a layer of energy that protects me from harm. I get around riding a wave of energy that I create. My identity is a white collar worker, so work in some sort of office. Probably like a mid-level manager. My superpowers are barbs, like spikes that can strike people, and corrosion, so I can corrode and disintegrate things like acid. And then my team role is the booster, so I help build people up, bring out the best in them.
All right, and Eris?
My hero is Pluribus Unum, because he took the whole...
I can barely hear you.
My hero name is Pluribus Unum, because he took the whole America thing a little too far. He's a street sentinel, swore to protect his own people. His motivation is to help his brothers and sisters in arms, at least that used to be. And also his vulnerability, he will not harm another one of his kind, ever. His resistance is mostly danger sense. He will see that there is danger coming and he goes around on his motorcycle. His powers are these kind of strange mental things. He can cause people to get headaches and nausea. He can make people kind of slow down and control how they're moving, kind of like make them slow. He's a controller. That's his team role, and his identity is a security guard. He's just standing to protect people.
All right. So, as far as the city we've gone, the superheroes in this world are essentially superpowered experiments that were used in warfare. So, most of the characters, or all of them, are veterans who've met at a support group. Veterans themselves are often called Niners. They've got superpowers. Some of the problems can be lack of control. We want to come up with a name for this comic book.
Muster out.
Muster out. Sound good? Oh, seems to fit with what's going on.
Sounds good.
So this is Muster Out number 1. Now, however, this is actually some of the stuff will come into it, like on secondary sessions. You get continuity of things, which let you do flashbacks. Like your characters may have had other adventures before that in later sessions you'll be able to go into. The first session, though, because it is the building of the city is a big part of the beginning, it kind of gets you sort of straight into the adventure once you've got that done. So now we have Halo Point and Abrasarse. Is that the correct pronunciation? So you two work together at the restaurant. At this point, we've got probably was Erez, I think, was the security guard. Or was Unum or Marco?
Yeah, I was the security guard.
Okay.
I had a question.
Yes.
You had mentioned a support group. As the activist, maybe I organize a support group that meets at the restaurant. Maybe I'm, lead the group, and we have like a little chat in one corner of the restaurant on, every other Thursday or something like that.
I like that.
Sound good? That actually would be an excellent way to get you all together for the beginning. So, what part of town is your restaurant in Halo Point?
Who among us actually knows San Francisco well?
Remember, we're allowed to make stuff up.
Oh, that's true.
Probably inside the ghetto.
What's it, the
Is that like the
Braga?
Tenderloin? Is that what they call it?
Would that be close to the waterfront then? Like the docks?
For our purpose, yes.
Sure.
Tell you what, let's make that a truth. I will make a mark of that on the thing that the Pariah Ghetto is near the waterfront. Docks. Are you
Obviously,
deep
got to be the part of the waterfront where several factories are offloading pollutants into the water, right? Otherwise, it would be really expensive
True.
to live there.
And also probably a good amount of noise coming from ships and other things. So like some of the places where the real estate's not going to be as great. The three of you, the five of you, are in there, kind of going like kind of support group. In the background, you've got a television just sort of going. It's that time of day where people, as they sort of come in, are being taken care of by the other people. Are you like I don't know if you're in a back room, but you're able to see on the television. You see a couple of you have met some of these guys before. Gamma Squadron is basically they went merc for a bit. They were operators in a variety of mercenary outfits, but when they came back, they didn't do particularly well in the ghetto. They headed out on their own and committed a number of crimes, most of which have been kind of low key. And you've heard things here and there, which you have not seen before, except you're seeing now on the muted television. You see them rushing into a bank. From some previous footage, from some cell phone footage, and then you also see a bunch of cops that have surrounded the bank at this point. That bank is probably about 10 minutes away from where you're at by car. But they're going in. You do see like the closed caption thing. At this point, SWAT teams have been called, but they have been delayed due to another problem in a different area of the city.
Splatter those guys all over the floor.
Yeah, shall we clean up this mess before it spills over? Any more?
Yeah, hardcore will take those guys down. If they catch them, let's bunch of egg on our faces. Okay.
So we need to get in to fight them without us being assumed to be part of the robbery.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to be careful for that. And do we want to try to figure out how we're going to do that on in transit? I guess it will take a few minutes to get there, but do we want to try to maybe? Does that mean you, Pocket? Do you think that we should make ourselves known to the whatever police are there first before we dive right in?
Well, in order to burglar the building, we have to take the money out, right? So we could just get them on the way out. That way, we're not implicated. We're already running late as it is, so.
We need to get there quick. We don't have time to do waiting before they all die.
Shall we do this then? Get on our. I said we have 2 motorcyclists here.
Oh, I just fly a blast off literally, so I have no. Like my soldier has no sneak around capabilities because I am a flaming person. Flaming.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we have more than one cook here. that's something that just occurred to me.
But that's gonna be a problem. But maybe he'll take some of the eyes off us while we get in and get it done quickly.
Comes in with a cigarette. Hey man, is my break gonna be sometime soon? Cause it's been a couple hours.
Just hang in there. We'll be right back. Just
kind of looks at y'all. Kind of looks back at the screen. Oh
yeah.
Man. This never goes slow. I'll call Tracy. I'll let her know I'll be late. You see, he goes back. He's actually smoking while he's cooking.
You're not allowed to smoke inside.
Yeah, you're not. Who's taking over from my break?
Yeah.
You're not my boss.
Sometimes you have to let some things slide, but partially the health inspectors aren't around this area so often.
Unless they need to close down our places. Let's go.
So y'all take
Does
off.
everyone want to ride?
Okay. Are you all going together? I said, Rich. I think you said you're able to just rocket up there.
Yup.
Everyone have some form of transportation. 'Cause I'm trying to remember what people had.
And we have 2 motorcyclists, me and someone else.
And
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
too.
but
There's a jetpack too, right?
I have a jetpack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have like a hoverboard.
We're all gonna travel in style.
That's how you ride the wave.
Yeah.
All right. So as you sort of approach and like some on the street, so who's probably gonna get there fastest by air? We have Rocket Pack. We got Rich is able to just and
We
go.
also got a head start.
Yeah. You got a head start.
Yeah.
So.
I'm okay with not being first though. Rocket Pack sounds way cool for speed, and we got a speedster too, so that's fine with me.
Okay. And the speedster was who again?
Asher's character, I believe.
Okay. And how do you get places?
The
This is a
speedster
wave,
should be
right?
there first.
I have like a hoverboard.
Okay. Cool. So you're heading out there, and you're like Back to the Future 2ing it.
Mm-hmm.
So-
And I can also distort time so I can like get around things, right?
So the place itself, and the hoverboards to take you up high, or are you pretty low?
Yeah, I think I'm fairly low.
Okay. So when you kind of come down the street for it, there's like some alleys that you can go through if you want to not be seen by the police as you arrive. There's a bunch of police out there. You hear someone's on the phone with someone inside, and you notice it. So Gamma Squadrons you've seen before tend to work on their own. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 of them. But here you've got like a couple guys with machine guns at the front of the doors. But all right, anybody does anything else, we're gonna kill some of the hostages. So hold back. We'll get our demands soon. That kind of pops back in. You can see there's hostages that are sort of being kind of all gathered in one place. A few of them have been kind of brought up to the windows to show the police, who right now are kind of hanging back a bit. You doing anything before everyone shows up, or are you just...
That's a good question. Do I want to wait for everyone? I think I'll just go in. I'm impulsive. I'll try to just keep going and go in the door.
Yeah, and Erez's thing, I basically, usually particularly the modern stuff, having ear plugs for comms just sort of makes things better and more interesting usually, so people can communicate unless there's like specific reasons where those might be brought up.
So
The actual
I guess
debate
I'll
you're
tell
going
everyone
into-
I'm going in. Let's see if they stop me.
Yeah, the bank you're going into is actually it's in kind of one of the business districts. This thing is actually like not the smaller banks on the outskirts. This one's a fairly good sized one. So Asher, what did you say to them?
I'll try to go in. Let's see if they stop me.
All right, do you let people know? You let your group know, or
Yeah.
Good. Get in fast.
You try to get to the hostages first.
Of course. But I might get, they do have machine guns, so that's the priority for me.
Try to be unseen.
Maybe I can help. I'm sorry, Rich. How do you pronounce Abrasarce's?
Abra, like abracadabra, and then sarse. That's how I'm saying.
Abracadabra. Sorry, but I was thinking I could help us gain access through the roof, and we'll try to get the hostages Oh, well, you don't want to go with stealth. So maybe you could cause some kind of fiery distraction while I try to get the hostages out.
Sure.
And also,
With distractions.
I'm sorry, I didn't look up Asher's character's name. Since you're running in, maybe you could grab hostages and run out with them.
Yeah, that's the idea. I also have the corrosion power, so I can go in and try to like corrode some of the bank to let you in easier. Make a hole in the roof or something.
I think the hostages are the main priority, and we'll gain entry on our own.
Okay. So it's like
Sounds
Rich, you said
good.
you're doing distraction. Marco, you're going through the roof. Asher, you're going to be going in. And what about Erez and Mike?
I think Hale will probably just try to run in. Well, I think I might run in behind Dapper just to hopefully provide something. Well, if if Dapper can do their job and protect the hostages, I may run in, if nothing else, just to provide a target for Gamma Squad.
Mm-hmm. So you
Second
provide a target, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll go in, start dropping them down. We need to not just stop them, but to get them with us, get them out of here
Mm-hmm.
before we see them, mass murdered.
Okay. So, looks like Asher is probably heading in first. Well, the others are arriving probably pretty quick afterwards. So the first part of this, we can kind of do like without you'll be kind of getting the drop on them. We can not worry about initiative at first because then it'll be sort of a surprise thing. So, Asher, tell me what you do.
So I want to go over to these hostages and try to set them free.
Okay.
First.
So you're able to, and you said you had, you got barbs and corrosion. You're going in through the front door.
Right.
Okay. So as you start to go, there's cops kind of screaming out, "Hey, stop! What are you doing?" Would they recognize any of you all as people have you done stuff like this together before?
I'm pretty obvious.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as you're coming in, they probably realize you're not necessarily the bad guys.
Mission 1 complete.
So the time
Is there a helping role? Because while I'm causing a distraction, it's to help. So if there is a helping capability.
Yep. What you're able to do is you can spend a hero point. So like I put hero points down by each of your character sheets. I also put the little time things. There's certain things, if you use a special ability or power stunts, some of those will have like you have to put like one or two of those on there, which means for 1 or 2 turns you can't use that power while it sort of resets. That's if you use a power stunt, which each of those will have a specific thing on it. Yeah, what you can do is you can spend a hero point to give 2 advantage dice to Dapper Lacquer as it goes in. Okay,
I'm
so
doing that.
And so Dapper, you're going straight through the front door?
Yeah, that's
right.
the best way in.
So what I'll do is, if you want to go ahead and are you using, so skill-wise, are your barbs or corrosion or any of those being used? Using your powers or just skills?
Not yet. I don't think I'm using my powers, yeah.
Okay. So, in which case, if you look at for everyone's stuff there, if you look at the skills, these are the things that you're sort of good at or bad at. And it gives you a list. You always end up with anything else, which is about 50%.
For my identity?
Yep.
All right.
So it looks like this probably counts as, since you're not using a power for it, specifically the anything else. So what you want to do is, if you click roll, you see that you have a thing there with your roll on it. It should ask you what the first one is. What, advantage dice?
Right.
Okay, put 2 in for there. And when it gives disadvantage dice, you're going straight up the middle, or you're going straight through the front door, which they're watching. So if you want to put 2 disadvantage dice on that.
The second one was challenge.
Or it's challenge dice.
So that's 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. So first thing will happen is one of those will cancel the other one out. As far as the boon and the other die goes. However, with the 97, they're going to notice you before you get in, because you're trying to get in and get to the hostages. But you do have a boon. So what else? Actually, I'll say this. You don't quite get to the hostages, but you will get in. We can use the boon for that. You manage to kind of get in the front door. They hear kind of one of the door move, and one of them sort of turns and is going out. What was that? Folks, keep your eyes out. The door just moved. They haven't seen you yet, but with the boon, we can have you in a hiding place inside. As in, Rich, you did the whole big explosion thing for the distraction. Yeah, so
I sure did.
Keep alert, and you're not quite able to get to where the hostages are. There are some of the guards and such around them. So Marco, you're coming in through the ceiling.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to wait for Mike to come in because he's going to make a target, or do you want to go in?
Maybe I could lift Mike from where he parks his bike up to the roof, and the two of us can enter in stealthily somehow and try and help Asher get the hostages free.
Mike, did you want to go stealth, or were you going in big?
I was going to go in to provide a target for someone for the for the Gamma Squatters to shoot at, and hopefully be able to resist.
All right. Well then, yeah, I'll just try to gain entry and work with Asher to free the hostages.
Okay. Well, we'll say you gain entry up there, maybe through the roof. The explosion is not a bad place to just kind of pop yourself in through one of the skylights. So if you're looking down, you can see a couple things. Something you didn't see before. There are 2 guards. There's 2 security guards that are actually hanging from, that have been like handcuffed and hanging from some of the rafters a little higher up. That could be used as target practice if necessary by the other one. Now, they're all kind of, they've got a thing around there, they've got tape around their mouth, but they're looking out at the giant explosion that Abra Sarce has placed out there. None of them have seen you yet. So what do you want to do?
I would like to try and free those 2 guards.
Okay. So
and if I can, I'd like to use my secondary power of hypermobility.
Okay. So what you do on this is there are complications, and complications have a certain number of boxes on them. And when you this one, for example, takes 2 to get that completely taken care of. So you'll be able to get to one of them here. So what you want to do is go ahead and add, and I'll go ahead and add 1 advantage die because of the distraction, and no complication dice because you're sneaking in and everybody's distracted. That roll, however, should be against your. It'll be with the power you're using. So whatever power that's slotted into. So you said your lesser power.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think though the lesser power, I don't know if I can be flexible with it. It's in a defensive capacity, but
Is your hyper agility?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the hyper you can use it for anything that hyper agility would make sense for.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
jumping, across the distance between the the ledge that I entered of my point of egress over to where they're hanging,
Okay.
and so I can free him and swing him back to the landing and let them get out through the blast hole.
Okay. So what you want to do is let's roll against that 70%. Add one advantage die.
Okay, so advantage currently says 2.
Make that a 1. I don't know why it automatically goes to.
And how do I change that?
Just type in 1.
Oh, there it is. It selects. It's not changing.
Wait, did you click on the roll? That should be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen.
Bottom left hand?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
If you activated the macro, you should have in the bottom left hand. It'll be your character sheets, whatever you put that in as, your character name, and then it will say roll.
So it said advantage pool 1. What do I put for challenge pool?
0.
And where does it tell me what happens?
So if you go to the chat, so it'll so you have 53 plus you got 1 boon. Which one we doing? So the boons can give you some extra stuff. In this case, one thing you're going to notice: none of the Gamma Squad is actually anywhere on the floor, and you're actually in a position where you can actually see a good deal of like the upper, all those things. Pretty much the only place left for them to be is the vault. At this point, you've got a pretty good eye on it. But the thing is, like the doors to the vault, or the things that lead you into where the vault is, which is not the main vault door, but those things are actually locked and the gate is down. So if they went in there, they've closed it behind themselves.
Well, I definitely will share that information over the comms. And do I successfully free one of the guards?
Yeah, you grab one of them and you're able to, you said, kind of like swing him back up onto one of the, like the, he's like, oh God. It's if I don't know if you pull off the tape.
Yeah.
So he's got a full beard, unfortunately. Oh, thank you. Listen, these guys down there don't seem to know what they're doing. A lot of the other hostages who were in here got away. Jesus Christ! When they came in, one of them was in this big like combat thing, just rolled straight through. And Hummer is one of the guys there is basically fused in with this combat vehicle. Yeah, you know him, and you can kind of see the destruction as it went through. It's like they knew exactly what they're going for, grabbed the exact person they needed, and they rushed in, man. They knew what they were doing. These other guys, I don't know who the hell they are. I think that leaves Eris.
I think also someone else didn't do anything yet, but yeah.
Rich, you got the distraction. I was if you're doing something else besides the distraction.
No, I mean I was letting everybody have a go. Mine was spinning I just realized my only hero point. Dang, this sucks, but yeah.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. When you do something with a complication, you do get a hero point. So, Marco, you will get 1 more hero point. My thing is, so if you take care of a complication, you get a hero point. There's also some other things that can get them for you.
I think I get 2. That's my neighborhood hero thing. If I progress a complication or something.
Yeah, remind me when that happens, because I won't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to remember myself. So let's see. On the bottom floor, there's only some basically guys with guns, and not the Gamma.
Gamma Squad's nowhere to be seen, and he probably just told you that. Yeah, Gamma Squad is not on the main floor.
And they're probably locked in the vault.
So I will go in next to what was his hero name? Pocket Bullet safety guy, right? right?
Mhm.
Pocket bullet to save the guy. So I walk next to him and look around and start sniffing around, like sniffing, like trying to look around and see if there's any.
There's a second victim hanging in the same similar location.
And how many guys with guns?
There's 10 guys with guns. They act as
They're a
a
little more dangerous than a guy that's a victim.
Yeah, there's 10 guys with guns. They act as a single squad, but yeah, there's 10. You got 10 guys down there, and there's also 2 people that seem to be in charge of this group.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try and bind them with my power. Those guys with guns.
Okay, so yeah, the way to work against minions is you actually start reducing the minion stuff. Some of them will have some troubles moving and such. So
Yes.
I go ahead and make your roll a 70%, and go ahead and add one because of distraction. Go ahead and add one advantage die.
And after using it, I need to put 2 time tokens on it or something. If I make
only-
this a hindering attack.
The hindering attack is only if it basically flips their initiative. If you just want to bind them,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So basically, if you just want to bind them and stop them, you just do a standard attack with it.
Oh, okay. So I just want him not to be able to attack, basically.
Mhm.
So you said 1 to the advantage pool and 0 to the challenge pool. It didn't actually say.
Nothing in the challenge pool.
Okay. Boop.
Well, that's not going to make it. Because that's you're not. I don't think you unless you want to spend all 3 of your hero points to bring your 70% up to 100, which you could do.
So, yeah, I could. So I'm trying basically to make them to try and mentally make them slow down and become these tired people, but apparently something else happens.
Yeah. So instead, it doesn't work in that one unless you want to spend the hero points, in which case you'd also roll 3 disadvantage dice to see if that.
No, I'm keeping my hero points for now.
Okay. It doesn't quite reach. There are a couple of them that get a little bit distracted by it. They'll have the minion squad will be at a 1 disadvantage die next turn. And Rich, you've done the thing. Do you want to do anything else this turn?
I mean, I could just go in, burn my way through a window, and just enter. I think I'll do that.
Okay. And are you using that to help some of the hostages get out, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Especially help the window. If you come in, they can run.
Yes, that I like that. Basically, giving them the ability to get out in a way they have it covered, because who would think you were going to have a passageway there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go ahead and give yourself 1 for the 1 for the distraction.
Okay, so
1 advantage die and no disadvantage dice on this one.
Okay. Challenge?
No challenge, yeah.
Okay,
no disadvantage, I think is what they're called in the other one.
What's the other one?
Dusk City Outlaws.
Okay.
Which are pretty close to the same system.
So I rolled a 92.
Oof. Well, what's your percentage on that one? Is that your highest?
I just rolled 1 die.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I mean on is that you 80% of that superpower?
The superpower is 80%. Does that mean, what does that mean?
So that means you have 80% chance of things working when you use it. You've only got 1 hero point.
I had one. I spent it to give advantage to somebody else.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong ones. I'm looking at the time things.
Those are the time thingies, right?
Yeah. So you're not going to be able to bring that up to help get through. This is rolling 97, 100, 92.
Not a 53. Yeah.
Yeah. This is anyway.
94, 90. Wow, there's some.
Yeah, it's a little absurd. as you go through the window just fine, but like the ones that are, you see some of them kind of start to go, and there's one of the thugs who's been a little bit woozy, puts a gun to the person's head and goes, "Stay back! I'll do it. You stay back." So we go to turn 2. So we do for the actual, now that we're actually in like turns. Up top we've got those all those cards. So anything I get to do, I can just do this. Did a little turn order thing pop up for you?
Yes.
Okay.
To me, it did.
Yep. So
Alright.
what I'm able to do here is I can just highlight the cards we're using. I just hit the group initiative, and it just does the whole thing of where you shuffle them up and then boom, 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 deal them out to show here the order. So let me do this real quick. I will actually put the nameplates on there so those can show up. But I know at least one of you can actually switch some stuff around.
Oh, like the Speedster or something, right?
Yeah, I think the Speedster, your main thing is you can change who goes where.
Alright.
So if you look,
How do I know who's who?
so if you look on the middle of your sheet,
Mm-hmm.
like one of your powers, I think you can move something up by 2.
Right.
And I don't remember exactly what it says.
After any hero rolls advantage or challenge dice, you can spend any number of hero points. For each hero point you spend, that hero can re-roll any combination of up to 2 challenge dice.
Wait, who's this?
Advantage.
Who's the Speedster?
That was me.
Oh, fast action. After the narrator is allowed to initiative track before the first turn, you can move your initiative card 2 spaces forward. Would you like to move 2 spaces forward?
Sure.
Which
Seven.
one are you?
The booster? I was reading the booster card before.
Oh, booster. Okay. So what that means, I can move you up ahead of Robert too, so you'll be a little bit faster. Oh shoot! Let me do this. I'm sorry, I had this in the wrong. It did not put those in the ascending order. Let me switch those. Yeah, I didn't order those. So booster, yeah, for Robert too. So the first robber is going to go first. We have these ones are minor villains. So you've got those, and then you've got the like the minions and such. So one of them like basically sees Rich comes in, and 0, 0. So he starts firing. He's got a 50% chance. So as you come in, he dives down behind one of the things, and then fires up out of it. But all that stuff goes wild. None of it strikes you. Also, none of it strikes any of the hostages. It's just like, get down! They're coming in. How many are there? And then who's control? Who's control?
Bless you.
I believe I am controller.
All right, you will go next.
Yes, I guess so. Let's hope this ends up better. So how many guys are there?
There are the minions. There's a squad of 10 minions, and then there's basically two sort of lieutenants, which are considered minor villains. One of which is just fired at Rich.
Yeah. So, and none of them is actually one of our people. It's like one of our superpowered people.
Yeah, they're actually not on the floor. They seem to have maybe gone to the vault.
Okay, so this time I will allow myself to debilitate them much harder than last time. I'm gonna attack the minions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add the controller ability, I think.
What does that do?
I'm not sure I should though. When you hit an enemy with an attack, spend any number of hero points. For each hero point you spend, 2 challenge dice to each roll that the enemy makes on their next turn.
Okay, yeah. So basically, if you do that, it makes it so the minions have a much harder time attacking.
Yeah, like I want to get the minions down, basically, as many of them as possible.
Okay.
And I'll use debilitation, just regular debilitation, I guess. Plus the controller thing.
Okay.
So how much, like, what do I roll?
There'll be no advantage or disadvantage die.
So 0 and 0.
Yep. And if you describe like how you're doing it.
Basically, I just kind of put hands on my head and try to make them mentally like start getting sick. Like they start getting a headache. This these back headaches. Oh God! Oh, no, that's actually okay. I got 75. And it's 80%, so that's good.
All right. So what that's going to do is, since it's the minions have, there's I think a 10, so they have got, you've taken them down by 1. If you have boons on it, and you get like advantage dice partly by doing, like sort of like in the way you may describe some stuff, or if there's anything you do that would give you like a bit of an advantage, can give you advantage dice, and that usually depends on like how you describe the stuff you're doing. Extra boons lets you take out more of them on a single hit.
I see. So I also spend one of my hero points to give them 2 challenge dice to each roll that the enemy makes for the next turn.
Okay.
So
and they will technically have, the minions will have 3 because they've got a -1 from one of the boons, from the boon you rolled last time.
yeah.
All right.
How do I get rid of a hero point? Just delete
if
it?
you just want to, or just slide it off the thing. It's fine. Either.
Okay,
one.
just slide it.
All right.
Okay.
So, you were support.
Okay. So I'm still hanging on the cable that that I freed that one hostage from, and I'm hanging from it using my legs to stay balanced on it. And I will take my signature weapon, and I'm gonna shoot the weapon out of the hands of the lieutenant who was threatening that hostage down on the ground when, at the end of last turn. So remember, he was pointing a gun, and I'm going to shoot the gun out of his hand.
Okay, because he is paying attention to Rich on this one, because Abrasase decided to come in and just boom the living crap out of it. He's not looking your way, so you go ahead and add 1 advantage die.
Okay. Okay, that's successful.
Okay.
I'm making this precision attack, so I can swap the digits of the numbers you roll on your percentage die. I have no desire to do that. Okay.
The one reason you might want to, you have a bunch of hero dice, right? Or hero
I do.
points. Okay. The one reason you might want to do that is what you roll to attack becomes your damage. Now, these ones have 50 luck. Like no matter what you hit them with, it could be like the debilitate, could take their resistance, rather it's resistance, take their resistance down. You do 38 points of damage. If you have, because you've got the boon, that would go to 48. If you spend a hero point, you take them out entirely, and we can actually use that boon for something else.
But if I reverse it, doesn't that make it an 83 and therefore a miss?
But is that the one you have an 80% with?
Yeah.
Okay. What you could do if you use that and then a hero point to raise it up by 10% to 90, you could then just roll 1 complication die, and if that succeeds, that dude's taken out, and you have a boon as long as it doesn't come up with a thing that will as long as it doesn't come up with a drawback, you would then have that boon to do something else.
Okay, so let's do that since you recommend it.
Okay, so
how do I roll a complication die?
All you do is the only thing we're going to worry about is the complication dice. Just hit roll again, and then it doesn't matter what the percentage is. Just put in 1 complication dice, because you get each conflict, you get all your hero points back. And as I recall, Marco, you've got a bunch of hero points because you've got like 2 generic powers.
I have 2 generic powers.
Yes.
That's correct.
So you're more freely able to use them. Plus, you got an extra one for the complication.
So
if you just hit roll, and then when it comes to Like
I
challenge
did hit
dice?
roll.
Just hit one.
We ignored the 73. That doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah.
Is
Oh,
the thing that's blank? That's what we're happy about because it doesn't say anything bad.
yep.
So,
So yeah, in that case, yeah. So it came up that way. I didn't hear the bleep. How about we do this? What if, as it strikes, you said you struck it out of the guy's hand?
yeah, I wanted to make sure that he didn't hurt that person.
Okay. How about like the gun he's got goes out of his hand and hits one of the squad minions, knocking the dude out cold.
Okay.
So not only have you taken out the other villain, or you've taken out one of the minor villains, you've also taken out one more of the squad members.
Okay. And I don't really know. Are all of these blue things my hero points?
The ones that are gold and blue are the ones that are red and silver. Those are some of your powers may say if you use a power stunt, you may have to put on some time tokens, which are essentially a cooldown mechanism for certain abilities.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I drew on that to move my hero points.
Oh, so all you have to do, I mean, we can just move one, literally just move it away to show that you've used one. You can delete it.
So I had 4 and now I have 3?
Yeah. Like you'll notice your hyper agility, it says narrator must roll the percentage dice twice. If you want to use that power stunt, you put on 2 time tokens, and then those come off at the beginning of each of your turn. It basically means for 2 turns you can't use your power because it's doing the resetting.
Oh, so it doesn't do that thing all the time. I
Nope.
have to spend one of those red and silver things.
Yeah, not really spending. You're just when you use it, you put on the cooldown essentially. So it just means for like however many turns you won't be able to use it.
And how do you know how many turns it takes till you can use it again?
If you've got I think yours had 2 time tokens on it, where it says power stunt. You just put 2 time tokens. Beginning of your next turn, you remove 1. Or at the end of your next turn, you remove 1. End of the next turn after that, you remove a second.
Oh, you're talking about those little circles just before it says the narrator must roll the percentage dice? That
Yes.
tells me that it's 2 turns.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, this takes us to our striker, Richard.
I think I'm the striker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, I think you talked about striker before.
So, just to just as a reminder of what the status of all the antagonists are, how many minions do we still have? And how many lieutenants are still on the floor?
There's 1 lieutenant who's up and around some hostages. You've got the minions sort of spread out. There's about 8 of them left right now. You still have some hostages. You also still have one of the security guards that are hanging from the rafters. And also with those complications, if you not only do you get hero points for them, if you completely take care of a complication, there's usually another bonus. In this case, your reputation tracks can go up if you get those completely done.
Okay, and the one remaining lieutenant, is that the one who had the gun straight to the head of a hostage, or did that gun get knocked out of his hand?
Which one were you firing at? The one that fired at Rich, Marco, or the one with the hostage?
The one with the hostage is
Okay.
the one that I
Yeah, we'll say the one with the hostage. Yeah,
Oh, sweet. All right, so that one's disarmed. So the one
he's
lieutenant
actually out. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that one's actually out.
Okay, great. So the one lieutenant who's still on the floor is currently unarmed?
No, the guy that's unarmed is unconscious.
Oh, okay. All right. In that case, I think what I need to do is I'm going to try to knock out the. Actually, no. You know what? All the minions are still armed, right?
Mhm.
All right. I'm gonna try to clear that up. I'm gonna see if I can clear up that group as much as possible. So I think I'd like to just attack, and I would just attack all the minions as one group.
Yeah. So basically, if you've got advantage dice, that can boons take up extra ones, but otherwise, if you hit, you remove one of the minions. You basically reduce their size by 1.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure they were positioned or close enough where I could conceivably hit more than one at one time, since I don't really have a ranged attack or an area attack, as it were.
Oh,
so
shoot. One thing I forgot that we'll want to put in here, just because it's a different thing on this one. If you're attacking hand to hand, you always add an advantage dice. If you're attacking from a distance, you always add a challenge die.
okay, that sounds familiar from what I'd read of the rules so far.
About that.
And was there some kind of rule for making an attack an area attack?
That's only if you have a thing that lets you make it an area attack.
Which I do not, so I wouldn't be able to attack all the minions at once anyway. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, for those ones, you're just attacking the group. If boons go well, you can advantage dice go well, you can actually add some extra that way.
Okay. And is there a way to increase? How do I increase the number of boon dice I get to roll?
A lot of it can be like how you describe what you're doing. If someone else is helping you by spending a hero point and helping on those, if you do something sort of in a creative way, or bold, daring, or risky, we're not doing interludes. You don't do interludes in the first session, but things along those lines, what you're then able to do is get some advantage dice for those.
Okay. Well, I think what I might try doing is, I think I'm just going to try to take on the group of minions and see if I can just see how many of those I can whittle down. I also like to spend hero points to deploy my striker ability, which reduces the size of a squad of minions by a certain number of hero points. Is that something I can do as well, just by spending hero points?
Yeah, those abilities you're able to use for.
Yeah, and you start out with like 1 hero point, or is it 2 hero? What's the default number of hero points you get? Basically,
it's printed on your sheet because you've got super toughness, which has 1, and you've got that one at the bottom that has another one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I gotcha. Thanks. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I think spend 1 hero point. And this is something I have to do before the actual roll. Is that right?
No, it's when you hit with a melee attack. So if you miss, you don't have to roll it.
Oh, so I just roll to see if I hit, and then I can spend hero points.
Yep.
Oh, good. That's much better. So yeah, I think I'm just going to attack the minions and try to the advantage pool. What do I put in for that?
1 because you're in close combat.
Okay, that's right. That's the standard. So
and remember, some of the stuff, like if you're describing what you're doing, those are the things that those by themselves can get you more. Particularly if it's risky or creative, those things that kind of make it more than just I roll my thing.
I got you. I'm not feeling particularly creative at this moment, so I'll just go ahead and hit submit and see what happens. Did it go through? There we go. Oh boy. Ooh. Well, here's where you have some options.
Why'd you roll the disadvantage die?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just hit the submit button.
Yeah. So ignore the challenge die because you shouldn't have had one.
Okay, but I still rolled a 98. However, would I be able to spend a hero point to? I have a Peerless Fighter ability that would let me spend a hero point to increase my chance of success by 20 instead of 10. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah. When you spend any number of hero points, make a heroic effort on a physical attack. Yeah, everyone's hero points, you'll have a little bit of a different thing in those often. Or no, with I'm sorry, taking the spotlight I think is different for you. So what you want to do is that'll raise it by that. Just go ahead and roll the dice one more time, but put 1 disadvantage die.
Oh, how do I do that?
Just do a normal roll. We ignore everything but the challenge die.
Okay. All right.
All right. So nothing on the challenge. Yeah, nothing on the challenge die there. You bring it up there. Are you spending another hero point to take down a few more minions?
Yeah. Well, here's a question. I assume if I spend a hero point, I can only apply that to the Peerless Fighter ability or the Striker ability, but not both. Is that right?
You can spend multiple hero points. So you can spend 1 for each.
Right, but I can't. It's not like you spend 1 hero point and both get activated. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, I'll definitely spend my second hero point to take down the additional minions.
Okay, so you go through. You have like an energy fist or something?
Yes, basically.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
So yeah, the minions now take down to 5 as you come in, like hitting through them. There's a couple of the hostages kind of go scattering for cover. as you manage to just knock several of them out of the way, that we're all right there ready to go.
Sweet.
That takes us to our booster. Remember, we also still have a couple more complications. If you get those done before all the villains are taken out, there are bonuses for those.
So the guards are also hostages, like the guards from the ceiling. I think I'm gonna try to use my my ability, the corrosion, to corrode like the rope or whatever that's holding them up there.
Okay. Do
So
like
I'm
one of those slow things where it's he doesn't just go all at once, but enough that he can hit the ground.
Maybe. I mean, I imagine I'm like hiding here and like shoot some acid over there, and like it starts to decay the rope, and then eventually it just breaks and they fall.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and give one advantage die for that.
All right. And challenge. So I'm trying to get over 70. This is my lesser power. Do I do one challenge item too?
No challenge die.
Oh.
Oh, you're doing range? It's not. Yeah, one challenge die for the range.
Okay, right. All right, 77. That's higher than 70. So.
No, you want to roll under.
Oh, oops.
If you have a hero point, you can spend it. You can roll again to see if you get one, just one challenge die, to see if you get another. Because the boon and the disad will actually cancel each other out.
Sure.
Okay.
So I'll just put the hero point back somehow.
You'll actually, if you succeed, well, yeah, that'll make you succeed. So you'll actually get a hero point for doing that. So it'll come right back to you.
Okay.
Could
So
just one more roll and just put one challenge die on there.
Okay, so I got 11, so that's good.
Okay. Well, the 11 doesn't matter. You did get another boon, however, or a drawback. As you hit it, there's one of the guards, one of the minions notices you, fires a gun your way, which it doesn't strike you, but it does like knock some stuff like towards your head. You're gonna take 10 points of resistance. You'll notice you've got like 100 resistance, is what everyone starts with. Those each conflict, those get redone. But that will drop him, so you get the die back. As guard kind of hits and very quickly it's going. You see like oh god, because like it's still got the corrosive stuff. He's just getting it off, so it's his skin, his sleeves, a little bit rattier for him, but doesn't look like it actually got his skin. He's actually in a pretty good place to not get fired at, since they're not so much paying attention to him as to everybody else. And okay, so at this point, what we have got I still think right now, we'll say the minions that you've just actually rushed into, Mike, the other ones that are around start attacking you.
Okay.
The thing is, they're all fairly close up, so like they can't necessarily fire without hitting each other. But at this point, like as you're, like, are you quick or do you just take the hits as they're trying to
just
like?
take the hits.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me! There's one of them just comes up and bam right in the face and just, oh man, takes us to our artillery.
All right, cool. So can you give me just a setup of what's left for us to try to resolve?
Right, so at this point, we have got both of the, you still got hostages in there. Both of the security guards have been taken down. You've got one of the lieutenants around, and about half of the minions are now unconscious, and there's a bunch of them trying to punch at a halo point.
And the security guards are...
Yeah, the security guards at this point have been freed. They're
Okay.
out. You also have you've all gained a +1 to your government reputation because you took care of that complication, and you've still got hostages on the floor.
I would like to find a way to get these hostages out of here. If I need to burn through a wall, burn through some metal so they can escape through an office or find some egress, that's what I would like to try to do.
Cool. So you say like burn through the wall of the office?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
We'll go-
insured or something, right?
The what?
They're insured or something.
They're insured. Straight through. You're causing a lot of damage, but what the hell? Go ahead. Give you two advantage dice for that. No disadvantage.
Okay, and then challenge.
No challenge die. I'll say disadvantage because that's what keeps in my
All
head.
right, here comes a 99. Oh, it's an 89. I failed.
Oh, you have no hero points, do you?
Nope.
Oh, shit.
I hate these dice. They're rolling too high.
I do not know what's happening here. But with your... Actually, let's screw it. Because one thing you can do is add 10 damage to a hit. Well, for each boon, reduce the size. Two more boons. We'll go ahead. Let me know for that boon, who are you giving 2 advantage dice to on their next turn because of the cover you've given them with the flame?
Oh, I would totally love to see Halo Point, who coincidentally is my boss, come bouncing back with all these thugs trying to beat her down.
Okay. So yeah, while that stuff goes straight through, unfortunately the problem is with a lot of civilians, when a huge plume of fire goes over their heads and burns part of a wall they don't know, you're supposed to run for that. So some of them actually kind of run the other way, but the guards themselves, having seen this massive amount of flame, are realizing, oh, you're throwing around stuff that destroys parts of buildings, which is going to give next turn an advantage to Mike on there. So at this point, you've taken out one of the lieutenants. You've got a good number of the guards. You still have all of the civilians around. The alarms are going off like crazy now. They hadn't been going quite so much before, but right now you've just got a ton of stuff going on in the background. Group initiative. Oh, I had to clear that. Move all turns. Clear. So the next turn, actually, we start with Rich, or Booster. Asher, you're the booster, right?
Right.
Wait. So the turn skips artillery?
No, that's what you did last turn.
Oh, okay.
No, because
All right.
a booster's thing is he actually can move himself up by 2 before you actually start the turn.
Oh, okay.
So did you want to move yourself up by 2?
Sure.
Okay. Which means Booster will go first, and then it'll be you, Rich. So that's part of his superpower or super speed or speedster stuff.
So the robbers were starting to approach me, right?
You've got a bunch of them right now that have been fighting with Halo Point. You have got I can't remember if someone got in hand-to-hand with or I think they fired the other one. There's still the one lieutenant with the gun. You also have a whole bunch of civilians like running around screaming now at this point because they just saw a huge thing of flame knock a hole in the wall, and they don't seem smart enough to actually run through the stupid hole. Probably because there's still some fire on them or in that part of the building.
And one of the people has a gun, right?
Yeah, you get one of the lieutenants as well as the minions.
So I think I'll go for them because I have a shield.
Okay.
So I think I'll just like run and like try to tackle them and use my barb ability.
All right. So is this the lieutenant or the minions?
The lieutenant.
Okay. So when you roll, go ahead and add 1 advantage die because you're in hand-to-hand.
All right. Up close, you can make melee or range attacks. No challenge?
No.
I got a 49.
Okay, so when you hit him, do you have anything that lets you do extra damage? Oh no,
No.
you got a boon. That boon will actually take up. I can put that up 10, which otherwise he'd have been at one resistance left.
Huh?
So as you come out, he tries to fire, but you're too close. You got the barbs. Yeah, as you take him down, manage to kind of catch him up on the head. That dude just goes limp, kind of in your arms, which takes us to the artillery.
Sweet. So I'm a little unclear. Did the hostages not get out because I biffed my roll, but I gave an advantage to someone
because
else?
they missed the roll. However, you do have the hole is still there. The boon put into an advantage for somebody else.
Okay. Seems like I can't burn anything successfully. I'm not sure. What can I do to get these hostages out? Like, is there?
Because like one thing you literally could do, because this is stuff that lets you use your power. If you want to use like your fire, use your fire, your number one power.
Yes.
Like you could literally have like and have like a giant arrow like pointing at the thing, going "Go here, stupid," written in flames, to tell them to do it. That'd be a thing that would be technically using your power.
All right, let's do that. So yeah, I will use my flame power to draw a nice.
Listen, people.
Follow the red arrow.
I go and give yourself one boon for that.
Okay, so a total of 2 advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and no challenge or disadvantage.
Correct. On arrows,
You're kidding me.
Jesus. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and turn that boon into a +10 because I've never seen the dice like this on here. So it lets you do like 10 more damage on that one. I'll turn this one DV10. So that takes you to 90.
Are the advantages maybe adding to the sum or something?
It shouldn't, because it's just the roll, and those are basically rollable tables. On the advantage, they're just a separate thing that gets rolled to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done Dusk City on here.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that boon into an extra 10 because this has been ridiculous, and you've also been doing it for more than one turn to try to get them out. So it makes sense that we can use the boon on that one. Some of them start to run. You've gotten to give yourself a hero point. So get one of those back as some of them start to realize what's going on. Other ones are just kind of like backing up from the flames because they're nervous about it. Eras, a quick power means you go right now and then you get to go again at the end of the turn. All right, which leaves the only ones that are left, the mercenaries. Because we've got all this fire and such going, there's kind of firing off in all directions at this point. Which
if it's the minions, then they have like 3.
Oh, 3 more disadvantages? Yeah, let me roll again to add more disadvantages.
Yeah.
They're basically, these disadvantages would have taken off. Oh, shoot. Cancel. Roll. 0, 3. I don't know why it's being slow.
That's what I've been doing all my turns. It just got a 3.
No, that's okay. They got 2. They actually got 2 of the boons, so they miss Rich entirely as they're firing. They're firing your way, trying to hit, and actually one of the minions themselves strikes another one with those 2 with that extra boon, taking one of their own people out. Which takes it to control. Right now you've got the minions, and you've also got civilians still stuck.
I thought the controller just went.
Then we had booster artillery.
No, I didn't go. I just I gave them lots of disadvantages and just reminded him of that.
Yeah, that was from last turn.
So then it's your turn now.
Mine?
Yeah, control.
Ah, okay. Again. Wow. Oof. Where was I? Where is my stuff? There. So right now we still have the minions up.
Yeah, you
Right.
got the minions. You also got civilians that are still stuck in the area.
And we haven't seen the Mega Squad yet.
Correct.
If we get the civilians out before the last minion is taken down, you said we get some kind of bonus for that?
Yeah, you end up getting a bonus. In this case, it is a +1 to public reputation.
And we might want that. So what you're saying is I should just take some guy out.
No, you should get the minions out, because if we take out get the civilians
Yeah.
safe
Yeah.
rather than shooting a bad guy.
I don't think I'm very good at actually just defending people. Can I just like grab one of like the last, I guess, guy and just get him out?
Or some of the civilians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As many of them as I can.
Are you using one of your abilities or using a skill?
I don't think any of my abilities could help in that, like debilitation and binding.
Yeah. So skill wise.
It could be watch for trouble, just like walking them,
Yeah.
watching for trouble, but that's a 90, and that might be unfair.
Okay.
Although I'll probably get 100 again. So what do I roll?
Yeah. We go. I think you can go. The watch for trouble makes sense in this one. If you're keeping an eye out for them.
Advantage pool
None on this one.
and challenge.
None.
0, 0, 74. Oh, it's high. It's not high enough.
Okay. Grab yourself a hero point. You do get a few. Like, how are you getting them out?
So if I get a hero point, I get 2, right? Each time you progress a complication that
Yes.
threatens innocent bystanders, you get 2 instead. How do I get them? Just here?
Yeah. You might be able to pull them out, or if you've got some you've already spent, I can.
Yeah,
drop
I
some
see.
for you.
Yeah, I took 2.
Okay.
1, 2. Oh, so how I do it? When I see there are very few bystanders left, basically, I just like look at the guys and tell them, deal with the last guy. As I run to them, grab them by their hands, and start running back. Like kind of standing, like making sure they're in front of me. So if we get shot, I'm the one who gets shot, and just push them away.
All right. Yeah, you kind of grab some of them. You're shielding them on their way out. There's been a number of windows that are sort of broken. They've got some place to go. You've got most of the civilians that are left out at this point. That takes us to support.
So does the complication still remain, or is the complication solved?
Oh, there is one more box on the complication. It's not.
And
done
what
yet.
is that complication?
That complication is just the last civilians.
Okay, well, as an activist, I'm really good at convincing people of things. So how about I just convince them that they need to follow the arrow and go turn themselves over to the EMTs and the police that are waiting outside that'll help them out.
Yeah, I would say I like how that works up there. Probably the amount of times you had to deal with people in rough situations. Go ahead and give yourself 1 advantage die.
Okay.
All right, that works. You get the final one. You get a hero point. At this point, the final hostages. One of them just kind of looks at you. Go to the fire.
Through the hole beneath the fire, you'll be fine. Just duck down and run out and turn yourself over to the EMTs that are waiting.
Yeah. At this point, one of them, she just kind of pushes the other woman who said that. She's like, "Dude, just shut up and go!" Because they head out at this point. It's now just you. It's just all of you and the couple minions that are remaining. And we go to our striker.
Do we re-roll initiative, or is the striker? Oh, the striker's the last person to go.
Yeah.
So we've got all our hostages are on their way out.
Yep.
That's
There are
good.
four of the minion squad left. With your abilities, you could probably take them out pretty quickly.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and try to try to do what I did last time, and hopefully we can clean that up. Let's see. Boom. Now boom. Hey, look at that. Well, looks like I just got a straightforward success with no boons. Not much damage though, and unfortunately oh wait, let me check my powers. I know I've used up all my hero points, but I haven't touched any of my powers yet. So let me see if I can start exercising that. Where's my character sheet? Here you are. All right, let's see. We want to increase some damage. So I would like to, if I may, I would like to make this attack a powerful attack with my energy strike.
What's that do?
And add 2 time tokens to that to signify the recharge requirement. So that would.
Oh, what I would do is the powerful attack.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so that will reduce the squad of minions by 2 extra minions.
I don't know how many minions taken out with a base roll of 12, but
well, it's just 1 unless you got boons or something on there. But that takes out 3, leaving just a single guy. I'm gonna say he's not going to be particularly hard. Whoever, as everyone else kind of hits all around you, they just drop, and there's just one guy sitting there. He's got his gun, and he just goes. Just drops it. I surrender.
Good choice.
Please. What do y'all do?
Now that everything seems to be calm here, we should probably get to the vault, right? Unless someone's already done that, and I missed it.
Yeah, I agree.
Not actually stealing anything, right?
That's correct.
Cool.
These were just the minions. The supervillain team is actually the
They're
mercenary
there.
team is
Yeah.
Well, it still haven't been accounted for. They could be anywhere.
inside the vault. Yeah,
Hopefully.
with whatever they came here to take.
Yeah, we have to get moving.
Yeah. Any of us happen to have X-ray vision? I mean, well, actually, the first question might be: does the actual bank security have eyes inside the vault? Like, are the security cameras and they're still working?
I use my computer skills to.
Oh, and that too.
I'm pretty good at surveying. I could go forward and start and sneak around and look around.
Well, you got the gate going in there, but it's after you. Yeah, we're right about the end. Get this last thing. After you check the security system.
Yeah.
Can I use a gadget to assist Asher in his attempt to take over the computer system?
Yeah, and since we're right at the end of the session, we can kind of let you know this, and then we'll go on without a roll on this one. You kind of catch it. You see in the vault itself, the vault door is closed, but you're getting an inside view of it. You actually see all of them kind of backing up behind things. One of them hits a thing, and there's an explosion out the bottom on the far end. They've got a whole bunch of stuff sort of loaded up. They're grabbing them, and they run forward, grab them, and they're getting them onto. There's like looks almost like a subway car that has been that is on the other side of where the wall exploded out of.
Well, I'm glad we didn't follow my plan to get them when they leave.
At that point, since we're at 2:20, it was going to end at 3:30. So probably not a bad place to end it. We're picking up with that next time.
And what date is the next session?
The ones I put up for every Saturday. So I've got them on Saturdays.
Yeah.
At 11 a.m. Central American time. Yeah. So thoughts, questions. It does a weird thing where Dusk City gives you more time to kind of get the dice before you're doing it a lot. This one kind of dives you straight into it. What I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I thought
So-
the world building was fantastic. I really liked the questions and the guided setup. That was top.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I was looking through the setting PDF, and it's chock full of those really cool question sheets. It's very applicable to any kind of super game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thinking about using that for other things.
Yeah, I'm curious system-wise. I know in Dusk City, once you get used to it, people are just they're able to go do all the stuff quickly. This one may take a little bit longer to get used to, like how your character works,
Mhm.
because you got like the more the super stuff. I'm interested to see how much more smoothly that goes. Once you don't have to worry about looking at, okay, what can I do, and then it can be more like you do the role playing and then you just go, now I can grab this stuff, instead of trying to figure out
Yeah.
here's what my character's able to do.
I think one thing that would be helpful would be, you read through a rule book and you always come across the list of like common NPC stats, and I think just knowing like how much resistance a typical minion has would go a long way towards us gauging how much of our powers we should utilize at some time in order to take out certain whatevers. Like even something simple as like how much resistance does like breaking a car take or whatever. I think just certain benchmarks like that would be helpful to understand the game as well.
Yeah, this is something we could have brought up earlier. One of the things that generally works, minions have like squad numbers. They'll have like a squad of a certain size, and a regular successful attack takes out one. Certain things let you take out more, and then boons. And one of the things with the boons happens, especially is the way you describe it, you get more advantage dice. Like we're doing this, we're doing like something risky or something like interesting or creative. Gets you more boon dice, and you can spend boons to take out extras. And then most minor villains will have 50, and that's one where I can always let you know, like if it's major villains may have 100 or more, depending.
That's why we always have to team up.
Especially,
Like I said, it looked board gamey, and then we got into the world creation, and that was exciting and fun. And then when we got to the game, it felt a lot more board gamey than I was. Yeah, so you did a good job of automating things, try to help speed it along, but
Mhm.
there's a lot. It's a lot.
From what
Yeah.
I've read of the rules, I think where this game would get really interesting would be as you progress through the campaign and you start coming up with the different branch off scenarios that become available. I think the campaign that these game designers have designed, I think that'll be really interesting to see work out. And yeah, like you mentioned, Rich, I really like to world creation too. And the rules I think do take adjustment, and I think we'll continue to take some adjustment. But I'm curious to see how this game of this campaign plays out.
I'm curious if there are parts where you're not a hero, right? Like, are there just secret identity parts where you're fleshing out that?
yeah, it's actually like after the first session or first like issue, you get aspiration and turmoils, which are like, here's the thing, like it's usually like secret identity stuff, and
Okay.
like each game after the first one, which is like you do the world building and you get into it. I'm following like the stuff they've got for it, and I don't usually do module stuff. It's a little faster into the action, but we're also, by the time we started, I was looking at the time going, well, we want to kind of get to using the system relatively quick. It's faster than I would if it's a different game. But yeah, usually you start off every session after you've had your first adventure with one of your aspirations. Everyone takes one of their aspirations or turmoils. You have a scene with it, which then gives you some basically XP as you grow that way. And then you can take other other things in between turns to in between like the action stuff to also deal with those things, which again give you some growth and such.
I enjoyed the game itself. I did feel like I didn't have a handle on how to keep track of the hero tokens. I didn't know where to move them and where to get new ones when you said you got new ones, and when I was to spend them, I didn't know where to push them. But that's just me because I'm not familiar with Roll20 and not using.
I think for that, because I was thinking about that too. I think that might be easier if it's actually in your hand, like in the little things. You can just look down and see, oh, I've got 2 hero points. You can just pull it out when you use it, and then draw from the deck on the side. When you need it might keep it easier than scrolling around the screen to find where your hero points are.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm taking them from somebody else or whatever, but I don't know what is my hand. Is that where, like, you gave us the cards that had the powers we could choose from?
Yeah, and that same stuff. Like if I dealt out like hero points to you, they would just appear in there. And then always on the bottom of your screen, it'll be like, oh, I've got 2. You literally can just click on it, drag it to the Roll20 thing, and it'll leave your hand.
Maybe an editable character sheet would work. Easier, I don't know if better, but easier. Just type 3 instead of 2 or something like that. I don't know. Because it did feel like I'm choosing a move out of a bunch of moves and not actually like role-playing it. Like, I want to use that, I have to use these tokens to use that, and pay, and that.
And actually, for the most part, like the tokens can be help afterwards, but for the most part, you don't need the tokens to do the thing outside of the power stars.
Yeah. Unless you want to do stuff, and then you have to think, I want to pay that, I don't want to pay that, and stuff like that. Yeah, but the fight was a bit long, it felt. I don't know if it was, though. It's been going for an hour and a half, I think. Because basically since we started playing.
Yeah, so shortly afterwards, people going in. I think some of that was analysis paralysis, because I know the Dusk City is pretty similar to the same system. Different a little bit, but that one tends to run fairly quickly, but you're also not looking at like remembering what all of your abilities are.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that we had to choose and pick and then remember and use and then know what to use them on.
So I'm curious how that speeds up when you're used to it.
Yeah, but the world creation was very fun. I had fun in that. That was very role play.
Right now, to just be totally crass, I want to take this and roll build and then go play a different game. But I want to learn more about Spectaculars to see if that holds.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look around and do some stuff to make seeing things easier. Like I might put some of the stuff on its own page so it's easier to get like here's what you can do. Because you like honestly as a player, what you probably want to do is just have your stuff like in front of you the whole time. It's like here's my abilities, here's my everything else. And I think there's some ways to make that a little easier for the players. So there's not
Michael,
quite as
I think I can see you did a ton of work. So please don't take light on the frame. Like I see how much work you had to do to get it to this, and it's probably like I'm terrified to think of what it'd been if we'd just been playing from a PDF. So
I think this didn't take all that long because they actually made the PDFs that made this much easier, which is great.
It looks like you organized the board game around the board, basically. And it looks like a very heavy-handed board game with lots of pieces.
Yeah, but just the fact that we're able to do this online at all is
I know.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm with you.
I was wondering, reading through the PDF, I was thinking, how is this going to work?
Well, I'm also going to look through the stuff because there are discrepancies in how I tend to run game, which is much less fight type heavy. Though I mean, with superheroes, that's a part of it. Their stuff is more set up to get straight into combat stuff, which is normally not the stuff I do. But then some of it's also like depending, like if you had gone to the police first, there would have been stuff there. But it's also like kicking you off to play with the system on the first one to see how that works.
I'm really curious to see how much role playing the designers envision taking place versus a free-formy storytelling board game. You know,
I think most of the role playing would take place. From what I recall reading the PDF, you've got you start off with a big fight set piece, and then you get into a series of interludes where we get like a certain number of scenes amongst us, and everyone gets to do like certain things like for the investigation, or even I would envision doing the real world, like our civilian life stuff. And that feels a little more free for me, and that's where I get a sense that a lot of the role playing would take place.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into the next set piece, and then it's like very mechanical, and then so on and so forth. So I suspect that as we continue, like, we'll get to see how, like, we'll get more opportunities for role playing in the setup. That's what I'm anticipating, at least from what my meager understanding of the rules.
I guess we'll have to wait and see next week.
And I also think that Dusk City has a thing where it's supposed to be like legwork scenes, which are often done very quickly, almost a little more narratively. Like, you can do a whole thing in one session, but usually when I run Dusk Cities, it takes like 2 to 3 sessions, because we turn those into role play scenes and kind of get a little more into it. So yeah, I'll be like looking to make some adjustments and such, at least as far as how I approach some of the stuff, and then some of it comes just at learning role playing more in the thing.
Yeah.
Which can happen faster, but you need to kind of have got the system before that, before I'm going to do this, here's what I'm going to do, and then roll the dice and go.
Yeah, basically for a thing, I didn't read a single word of the rules. It was not hard to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if I was sitting at a table where we had physical tokens to use as currency, I think I would have felt a little less at a loss. I think with a lot of superhero games, when they're being created, the tendency is to focus on the fighting and make it, I mean, this is not Hero System or Champions by any means, but because nobody has time for that. It felt a little traddy in the way combat was resolved, but it was still, I got to do the things that my character was supposed to do. Got to be cool and be a hero and save people, and so my character got to feel like what I wanted it to feel like, a superhero.
Cool. It's about 2:30 at this point. 2:34. So yeah, I'm going to see what I can do to make it easier to look at your stuff without things being all over the place next time. There's a few things that might help that go faster, but then also alter the importance of some of the action stuff, setting up scenes more.
And I think I'm more of instead of every single week, I have a face-to-face game that I'll be going to next week. But you said it's kind of easy to drop in and out of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like literally, you got the information of your character. You can just kind of pull those cards and stuff back out and go, which is one of the nice things about it. The new people kind of pop in or pop out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this has been great, and I'm glad I got to. This is the first time I played with the Gauntlet that wasn't at Gauntlet Con.
Welcome, Marco.
I'm glad I did that.
That's a good
I've
person.
been like a backer for almost 2 years now. I've been like afraid to dive in and start playing.
Well, welcome. Keep signing up for stuff, and we can play again together.
Yeah, and keep playing. Yeah.
I had fun. I had a lot of fun. This was great.
Cool. Now I still can't believe we did Underground when that's what I've been rereading.
I have to say, I bought Underground when it debuted at Gen Con way back. And on the drive home, I let one of my friends read through it, and he kind of like bashed the game. I guess it struck him as being like way too over the top in its satire. And he basically like spent the whole drive back home from Gen Con bashing it, and that kind of like sunk any hopes I had of running the game. And now decades later, here we all are.
The
It all
weird
comes
thing
around.
is, I think it's less over the top today than it was in the 90s, because there's with the things that have happened recently, you're just like like it doesn't feel as much of an exaggeration anymore because Daryl Gates and Rush Limbaugh were president and vice president
Right.
directly before the game starts.
It's sad how it's gone from off the wall satire to in parts prescient.
Well, God, the whole thing with like it's all about veterans who have been like basically the society is crushing all these people underneath it. It's very much like it's satire in the way of like RoboCop, where it can be over the top. But I'm much more impressed with it now than I was when we were just sort of playing. Like, use that cool gun book to create all the guns back when I was 18.
I love just thumbing through because it's one of those really sharply designed, interesting books, and you can look at the like in-world fiction, and there are like in jokes of here are the music tracks by an ex like Super's rap group that's very Public Enemy like, and here's the listing of all the presidents over the last 16 years. Here's the parts of the Constitution that are now sponsored by Coca-Cola.
I remember that. Yeah, it was like a whole list of amendments. Oh man.
Yeah, I love Underground. I'll stop.
I wish I still had that book.
Yeah, I've had a mean urge to go back to it because I've been reading through it, going, "Oh, this would be amazing."
You know, Phil Vecchione is a huge fan of Underground.
Anyway, I have to go, guys. So good night.
Good gaming.
Have a good one.
Yeah, it was fun.